Hi, and welcome to the Bees Knees podcast. Today we have a very interesting interview with a program director of an activity center. Her name is Deborah Travis. Mary Elliott conducts the interview in Michigan, and you get a lot of insight into thoughts, possibilities for yourself after you have your knee work done, whatever that happens to mean or be to you, and you're looking for activities, things to do, take advantage of this mobility. Take a look at the local center because it's a lot different than what you might think it is or was in the past. These organizations are evolving dramatically, and you'll get some real insight into that. So let's take the new mobility that we get from knee surgery and put it to good use. And let's start here with a conversation between Mary Elliott and Deborah Travis.
Welcome to The Bee's Knees, a podcast full of articles, interviews, clinical studies, and advice about knee surgery, physical therapy, and life after knee surgery.
Hi, everyone. This is Mary Elliott from X10. We're taking off in a little different direction here today. We all realize the health of our bodies is super important, right? You can't have a high-quality life if you're not able to move the way you need to move and you feel vibrant and healthy and vivacious. Well, there's another aspect, right, to have a beautiful, nourishing life that brings you a lot of joy and keeps you flowing in the direction of your dreams and desires. Well, that's our mental health, right? Our mental health is hugely important. And what gives us great mental health? Well, part of it, right, besides having great health, but also, our relationships that are around us, the higher quality that your personal relationships have brings us a lot of wealth, right? A lot of enjoyment, a lot of shared moments, a lot of beautiful depth, right? To have an enriching life, right? Relationships are huge. And how do you gain new relationships, right? At the age that we're all in, as we mature and grow. Well, there's a great place, right? When you feel a sense of belonging in a community that you enjoy being a part of and have shared beliefs with, right? That strengthens bonds, right, for you and gives your life more meaning, right? A sense of belonging, and adds more fun, right, and laughter to it. So I'm going to introduce to you a beautiful soul, a beautiful person. You're going to love hearing her and what she has to say. And she works for a senior center. And before you start thinking, if you're like me, oh, God, a senior center, what's that? I mean, boring, right? Oh, gosh, you picture people sitting around watching TV and playing bingo and cards, and it doesn't sound too appealing, but guess what? They've changed, and they're a lot different now today than they were a long time ago. And I'm going to have Debbie introduce herself and elaborate. Debbie, would you like to? Yeah.
Hey, Mary. Yeah. Debbie Travis, Program Coordinator with the Clinton Township Senior Adult Life Center here in Clinton Township. And Mary, you know what? You hit on so many important points that we are trying to stress throughout the communities is that the senior centers aren't what they used to be. In fact, we prefer to be called activity centers because that's what we are. We're so bustling with activity. And beyond the activity, though, bigger and deeper are exactly what you spoke of earlier, and that's about building relationships and being in a sense of a community amongst your peers. So, everything is relative. And when you compare yourself to other people in the world, as we age, I think we get a little bit of a distorted picture of who we are and where our place is in the world. A lot of people aren't real keen on the aging process, which is funny because, we do gain a lot of great treasures as we get older. Right, Mary? You and I, we're both not in our 20s anymore, and I can't believe us being happier with ourselves than we are right now either. But the things that you get when you walk into a senior activity center is bigger than the exercise class or the card group or any of the presentations that are going on. It's the opportunity to build relationships. So you're absolutely right. That is key in what we do here. And like I say to many people, I'm like, we have to break the image of what it was a senior center and introduce people to what's going on behind these walls. Because if you are not involving yourself, putting yourself out there, trying new things, learning new things, building, growing, you're really missing out. You're missing out on a wonderful phase of your retirement.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Debbie. I read something. I read something years ago that you just reminded me of, and it said, in nature, what stops growing dies, right? And and let me tell you something, everyone out there. Where you gain the greatest growth is through relationships, right? Through relationships. So just because, just like you had mentioned to me before, just because we're in an older phase of our lives, we've gained a lot more wisdom, but my gosh, do we still have an incredible amount of more growth to do and available to us, right?
And Mary, too, I think that along with that old image of what a senior center was, goes along with what people think they should be as they grow older. As a senior citizen, which I don't really love that title anymore on our retirees, but they think they need to slow down, be more, I don't know, like kind of muffle who they are. But when people come around into a senior activity center and they are immersed in, like I said, their own peers, they discover that they still have that joy of living. They still have that giddiness. They still have those teasy moments, those sassy moments. And, you've walked into our senior activity center before, Mary, and I know that you've made comments about, wow, there's so much, it's so lively here. But that's because we're all free to act how we want to be, which, no one is judging us. You're too old to dress that way or act that way, or but no, that's not the case. We still have that young liveliness inside of us that everybody feels so comfortable in being their authentic self when they're amongst their peers. And the opportunity to make friends when you're here is so, so important and so wonderful that people come in thinking they're going to, maybe learn something from a presentation or work on their physical fitness by taking an exercise class. What they're not anticipating is how they're going to be standing or sitting next to somebody who is feeling exactly like them, like many of their friends may have moved away, their children are gone, they're feeling a little bit lonely or isolated. We're all in the same boat, and everybody is looking for that camaraderie. So you may walk in thinking you're going to, exercise those abs, but you're walking out with friendships. And now the abs aren't as important as the lunch date that's going to follow. It's well worth the calories or whatever it is, because what we ultimately want, Mary, and what makes life so rich are those relationships.
Yeah, exactly, right. If you don't have that right in your life, your life is going to be hard. Right, so there's going to be a lot of suffering.
Well,
so,
and so much information sharing too. So you're talking about that. I mean, we do struggle with different issues as we get into different phases of our lives, and because of your school chums may have moved out of state. Like I said, your family is scattered, your children are busy, grandchildren are once in a while. But when you start sharing some of the concerns that you have in this phase of your life with other people who are your peers, the information that you reap is so vital to finding better resources. It underscores the fact that you're not alone, or there's better options, or this will pass, or whatever it is. It's just so reassuring to know that you're not alone.
And just it adds such an additional layer of fun in your life. It's fun meeting new people, and
that is itself. And we have a blast here, Mary.
I know you do. I'm going to tell you, everyone out there, when I started, thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to have to walk. I met Debbie through my work here at X10. And I thought, oh boy, I'm going to have to go into senior centers. Oh God, that just didn't sound appealing to me whatsoever.
Yeah. What a
And I'm
yawn
54,
that would be,
right,
eh?
right.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, I walk into Debbie's Senior Center here in Michigan, and it's lively, it's bubbling with activity, and the energy was just so uplifting. I thought, wow, this
And
feels
it's so
really
populated.
good.
I mean, we get
Right.
probably over 300 people a day walk in our doors for
Wow.
a multitude of different reasons, be it different, like I said, there's so many different things to do here in the course of a day. Many things are overlapping at the same time. So the card group people are running into the Zumba class people who are, bumping into the knitters, but then there's still the people who are there for a presentation or, going on a bird walk. I mean, it's just, there's so many different directions to go in once you walk in the door. There's something for everybody, that's for sure.
Can you elaborate? Like, okay, give us an example of what they could find if they joined your senior activity center. Like, what's there for them to do?
Mine, as well as I hope many others. I know that the few in my surrounding community that I've connected to, we're all kind of the same mindset that, this ain't your grandma's senior center. And we're all 30-year-old minds in, 55-plus-year-old bodies. So we still have many of the same interests. And for examples, there are, like I said, there's just a plethora of different types of exercise classes given your abilities. So from chair, yoga, and meditation all the way up to, like I mentioned, Zumba, which is super high intensity. I have a hard time. Well, I love watching it, but I don't think I could do it. So those are, wow, very ambitious exercisers. And we have a fitness room here with all of the equipment, if that's your choice. We have ongoing presentations are delivered all the time from experts in their field, and these are on cutting-edge topics, things that we really want to know about: how to prevent diabetes, what is the best way to do a certain craft, or what's the latest on the new age medicines? What about medical marijuana? How do you determine what's right, what's wrong? What about the essential oils? There's so many alternatives to medication now from pharmaceuticals that people, or these new generations of seniors, are looking to combat, that multitude of pill intake. And there's a lot of things to choose from anymore. And we try to keep everybody up to date on what is the latest. How do you avoid the scamming going on online, on phones, through the mail? What's the best way to organize your retirement funds? If there's a topic, we want to broach it. What about the LGBTQ community? How do we know about that? How do we learn about it? It's in most people's families somewhere. So, we brought in a panel of experts to talk to us about what that looks like. Ask any question you want, in the non-judgment zone. And the progressive attitudes of these seniors here who want to be in the know, in the loop, it's just amazing. So everybody is just so darn open-minded to everything that I bring in. I'm like, okay, you want to know about this? And it's just, there's a waiting list to be able to get into the presentation room, because our seniors are hungry for knowledge, growth, improvement, socialization, camaraderie. And, like I said, you could bump into so many different types of things going on here when you walk through the door. You think you're going to come in to play cards, and all of a sudden, the Zumba people are saying, come on, get your tennis shoes on, let's go Zumba. And, now guess what? You just picked up a new skill and a new group of friends. So the opportunities are even beyond what you think they're going to be when you walk in the door. Which is so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. And now, too, define a senior. How old do you have to be to join your center?
That's a great question, Mary. For our senior activity center, it's 55 plus. So we have members here that are, waiting to turn 55, something for them to look forward to when they get to that age. So they're not quite members yet, and they're like waiting for their 55th birthday. And we have members that are 100 years old attending the yoga classes. So, and you can really watch too, who and how people are aging, what they're doing as they're aging successfully, and keeping your mind active and your social skills, active. That makes a night and day difference in how you feel about being a senior.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. So we try to provide, like I said, a big spectrum of choices. Everybody has different abilities, or they're at different stages of their lives, or different tastes even. So, I'm driven by the suggestions of our members.
So that's how you stay in the flow of what their needs and desires are and keep moving it forward that way, right? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, I love out-of-the-box ideas, and, people might give me an idea that's not been done yet, and I'm like, okay, we're going to make it happen, and it turns out all it took was the suggestion of, for example, have you ever considered doing a garden here, Debbie? And I was like, well, we do have a beautiful backyard. Let's see how this goes. Well, Mary, now I'm very happy to report 7 years later, we have a sustainable, huge organic garden that we produce. This year we're going to hit, it looks like we're going to hit about 1,300 pounds of produce that we were able to grow from seed, harvest, and donate out to area food pantries.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
That's beautiful.
I know. So,
oh, wow.
Wow. And, it just started with, I can't get outside in a garden anymore because I'm living in a condo, and I used to love it. What have you ever thought about turning that grass around into, a garden? And bam, it wasn't long. It was within a year that we had support. We had different community support to get that moving, and now our garden club is a giant point of pride for Clinton Township. The seniors are making a difference, and I think that's a big goal of theirs, is to feel valued.
Oh, of course.
Like all of us, right?
That's right.
As you're out of your productive years of work from the workforce. So now what? You're an active grandparent, or you're keeping your house, or whatever. But to be making a difference in the community-wide difference, that's amazing. And on the same concept, we have a huge volunteer force who are members of our senior center, and they're the legs of the senior center. We couldn't do 90% of what we do if it weren't for our volunteers.
Oh, that's beautiful. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, all right. And then I had read, because, by the way, everyone, September is National Senior Center Activities Month. So how beautiful is that? But I was reading that also some centers, right, have things about jobs, how to write resumes. Like, if you, for whatever reason, still wanted to work and you were looking for work, that would be appropriate for you in this stage of your life, right? They even help with that. I thought, wow, how incredible. I know when I have visited, they have had me join their dance class, and I've danced with them, and all the laughter, honestly, and I learned a bunch of new moves that day in line dancing. But yeah, it's beautiful.
And you talk about laughter, Mary. We had somebody here who was actually doing laughter aerobics, and I know you mentioned some of the benefits of laughter before to me, which is so true. The motion of laughing produces what? A better immune system?
Boost your immune system, but also you know what it does too? If you have a huge hearty laugh, it will relax your muscles for about 45 minutes. So if you're under a lot of pain, right, a lot of people who have knee surgery have to deal with pain, right, until they're recovered. But you know, laughter helps with all of that. Laughing is so healing for you emotionally, physically, and wow, I love that you're introducing all these things to everyone. That's fantastic.
And it's an aerobic workout, so you're actually working your lungs. So someone who might be sedentary or restricted in their activity level, if they did laughter aerobics, which is exactly so as simple as it sounds, doing belly laughter sounds, motions for consecutively minutes, 5 minutes or whatever, you're building the your lung capacity, your respiratory system, which in effect strengthens your immune system. But so, you know, you may have challenges as you age, but we think we have some great alternatives to sidestep some of what you might be going through.
All right. Now, you do have, and I'm just going to ask this in case anybody who's listening is wondering about this, you do have healthy, younger, you know, a younger population in there too. It's a mix, because every time I have visited your center, I see ages all over the place. It's everywhere, right? I am correct in what I'm thinking.
Yep. And you know, so many of them are in the same activity too. So right. I mean, you've got a big range in just the particular activity. Our Zumba class, you know, we've got our youngest in there, and some of our oldest are in there. Yoga is a huge class, and that's got a giant range of age in it also. So, there's no limit, there's no minimum, and like I said, we're all kind of in the same boat here. So we share our resources, we share our friendships, our advices, which is huge, and nobody feels like they're going too slow, or they're going to be judged, or, you know, what's the name of that thing again? You know how we all have that? I mean, we all just laugh at it over here because there's no one better than the other.
That's fantastic. Now, let me ask you this. All right, so I know you had said in your center 55 plus as far as the age requirement. What about cost? Is it expensive to join a community center, like an activity center? What are the costs involved?
Well, I can't speak to the others, so it's definitely worth inquiring in your community on it. But for us in Clinton Township, it's a one-time fee, a one-time lifetime fee to join our center. And for a single person, it would be $50. If you're coming in as a couple, it's $70 for a lifetime. And we're able to offer such a low membership fee because of the tax base. And then once you're here, you would probably have that paid off within your first year easy, because we offer so many discounted activities and outings, stuff like that, because there are community entities who want to support the senior center. So through their sponsorships, we're able to offset a lot of the costs of things that we do. So
wow, that's fantastic.
It pays to be a member.
Do you involve traveling too? Is that part of what you do, like plan trips?
We do a lot of great trips. So we've got like day trips, local trips, longer excursions, overnighters, you know, out of the country, once in a lifetime opportunity trips, a big gamut of travel opportunities here too. As
now,
well as like the theater and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. Okay. And because I know a lot of people who are having knee surgery, I hear this all the time. Well, Mary, I want my knees done so that way I want to go to Hawaii or Europe, and I want to be able to walk, you know, and not be hindered by, you know, my knees and the pain of them. So that's fantastic. All right. And then another question I was thinking, do you have to, okay, so if I want to join a senior activity center, does it have to be the town I live in? Am I limited? Or can I join?
Thank you for asking that, because my parents live in a different community, but they travel here, and they're allowed to.
Okay.
So if you're, like I said, the tax base really makes it so that the membership is super affordable. It's not that much more not affordable if you're not in the township of Clinton. So there's just a couple more dollars tacked on if you're not a township resident, and you can, call your activity center of choice and find out what those rates are. But ours, it's just a little bit more if you're not a resident. But we open our doors to anybody from any community. And we have got a lot of people from other communities, I'm proud to say.
I can see why. Well, all right. Gosh, Debbie, that's fantastic. You've given us a wealth of information that I think is really valuable to having, to creating an enriching life, right? And fill in those parts of your life that maybe you'd like to address but just haven't gotten around to. Well, now's the time,
Mary,
right?
I can't tell you how many people have walked in our doors and said, I don't know why I waited. I don't know why I waited. And so I'm so happy that you're doing this podcast. I know my mom is an avid radio listener. I know many seniors are. And I'm hoping this gives them the courage to make that phone call or walk in the doors of your local senior activity center. Check it out. Like I said, it ain't your grandma's senior center anymore. There's so many more things to do, and no matter your struggle or anything that you might be, if you've got vision issues or hearing issues or mobility issues, there's still something for you. And that's what is wonderful, because you'll see that not only is there something for you, but there's a lot of people who are in your same boat, and there's no reason to not be making friends still. You know how easy it was to make friends when we were in school? And, we're not in school anymore, but this is kind of that same kind of social dynamic going on, because you're sitting next to somebody, and eventually we're way more brave now than we used to be when we were in elementary school. So conversations just spark just that fast, and friendships are made just that easy. So please, 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 for all you listeners out there, do not sit home. If you're able to, take your local smart bus out or drive or however it is, Uber out, and get involved with your senior center, because there's a lot of fun to be had out there.
Oh, Debbie, thank you. Honestly, thank you for sharing all of this. Thank you for what you do for everyone. Honestly, the minute I met Debbie, everyone, I just thought she was just amazing, and she really is.
Right back at you, Mary. And thank you for keeping our seniors and beyond mobile enough to be able to make it in and take those trips and get back into those exercise classes. Those surgeries that people are having, shoulder, knee, hip, all that jazz. I mean, we're coming out bigger, better, stronger, and we're just a new generation. We won't sit still anymore. We won't keep quiet. We want to have fun. So,
absolutely.
Come on out to your senior activity center, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you, Debbie, for sharing your time with us and all your wisdom. I really appreciate that, and I wish you continued success at your beautiful center.
To learn more, visit x10therapy.com. 1-855-910-5633. Just a reminder, it's a huge help if you subscribe to, rate, and review our podcast. It helps people find us.
X10, back to full